Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is going to be for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 11, Morning Star. I'll also be talking, or we'll also be talking a little bit about Episodes 9 and 10 as well. In fact, I'd probably rather talk about 9 and 10 than this episode tonight, but we'll get into this all. I'm not alone. I have with me tonight the reason why I'm doing this, and I messed up on the video, so give me a second here. But we have with us tonight Joe Dirty Locks. Welcome to the show, Joe. How you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm well, man. I'm well.
Thank you for keeping on me to actually do this. Now I have to get Joe actually on the screen here. Let's see, where is he?
I don't know if you could tell I was trying to get us out of it tonight.
You were. Joe called me up. He was like, I'm not feeling too well. Maybe we don't have to do it.
I didn't quite go that far. I never said we didn't. I did say we didn't have to. I said it was your call.
Yeah,
that was as far as I was willing to go.
Yeah, you did. You definitely said it was my call. You gave me the opportunity to cancel. Hey, see, now for some reason I have the live chat instead of Joe in the camera right now. I'll get some technical difficulties here.
That's all right, man. They should. That's where they should be, man.
Yeah, they should. It should be looking at the chat, not necessarily looking at Joe. But wow, what an episode of The Walking Dead tonight, Joe. All of our old problems were arising. I went into tonight's episode. Truth be told, I hadn't watched any of this season. I went into it, but also we're not alone. We have with us the live motherfucking chat. We got Tim F, we got Potter, we got Hendrix in the live chat. We'll have other people popping in and out. And if you have any thoughts of this season of The Walking Dead, please call on in at 781-990-8509. Leave your message. Ask us your questions. We'll tell you no lies. We'll tell you what we think about this particular season of The Walking Dead, these 3 episodes so far. In general, I have a couple of compliments to pay the show, mainly in the first of the 3 episodes. And I'll get that out of the way right away. I like how for the very first time, or in a long time, it felt like they took the last moment that we saw at the first half of the season and actually started us in the moment right afterwards in the cave. After that point, in that first episode, I couldn't see what was happening. You know, people want to rag on that Game of Thrones episode about not being able to see what was happening in the dark. That whole cave episode was fucking stupid eventually. Especially at the end when they're like climbing over the walkers' heads. They're like, they didn't bite through your shoe. Okay, they didn't bite.
Yeah.
Well, but we'll get into that later. But I thought in general it kind of was a fast-paced episode. It at least kept me visually entertained. I feel like the second episode was the best of the 3. The battle between Daryl and Alpha was at least mildly entertaining to my eyes, Joe. And there was some.
So wait. What I need to know now. Is
there we go.
So
we got Joe
in
back.
That second episode, the battle between
Alpha,
right?
and
Alpha. So here we go. All you need now is a leather mask, and the zombies won't eat you.
Yeah. No, they
All
don't.
you need is a Halloween mask.
They don't bite through anything, Joe. They
won't even try to bite. You can call them over. They'll stand next to you. They'll look at you. They'll be like, I don't smell any blood and guts. But you have that nice clean leather mask that you've been wearing for a while, so I don't know that you're not a zombie.
Yeah, they're a prop. They're a prop at this point.
It's just fucking dumb.
It's sad. It's really sad. And I went into tonight's episode thinking that they built up 2 episodes leading into the point where Alpha's coming with the big army. You know, we're gonna get a big action-packed episode tonight.
She comes with the big army. She's coming with 1,000 walkers. What was the scariest part about that? Was it the walkers or was it the fire? They made the fire scarier than the walker. Like, okay, so they're still like, they're just not even a thing.
And yes,
like,
we're not doing a full recap thing tonight. We're going to be all over the place talking about these 3 episodes.
This episode, we've seen it 7 times. Why would we do a recap? Every season, this episode particularly has happened every season. Has it not?
No, and that's what I was eventually getting to here. I was doing what The Walking Dead was doing and doing a lot of lead up without a lot of sauce here, Joe. I thought those first 2 episodes were at least, and I'm not going to say hopeful, but I thought they were speeding things up, getting us to the point where we're going to get, okay, episode 3, we're going to get some balls to the wall. We're going to get like a full-on attack kind of situation in tonight's episode. But instead, we get the jerk-off before the battle episode for the 7,000th time. If I see another scene with Carol walking up to Daryl to have a personal conversation.
Oh, Rosita in fuckhead. Oh, where? Or like all that was fucking stupid. Nothing, nowhere.
Like, what the fuck is the point? And I get it, okay? I have to ask this question because there's going to be someone watching this, maybe, who knows. No one wants to watch us talk about The Walking Dead anymore because we're so negative. But when it comes down to it, what I want to know is, would I care if I gave a shit about any of these characters? Because I think that's part of the problem for me here, Joe. I've said this before, and we talked about this before the show, how we almost didn't want a podcast because we're just going to be repeating ourselves. I feel like I'm watching Saved by the Bell, the new class, and we have Screech and Mr. Belding there with
holding it together,
or the Scrubs season 10 shit going on. This is what this feels like to me. I don't give a shit about anybody except for maybe Daryl and Carol, and they've jammed that so far up my fucking balls that
it's painful.
That it's painful. I just don't care anymore. It's just repetition. I guess I kind of care about Judith because the little girl actress is okay.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
she's cute. She delivers her lines with like
but
earnest.
no one else, not even like
Negan.
JSS's man. Like, why are you trying to ram this guy down our throat? Like,
okay,
he was an asshole.
And wasn't he a savior, dude?
He seduced a little girl.
And wasn't he a savior?
Now...
and he's like complaining about like, oh, once a bad guy, always get. Weren't you a fucking?
Always a bad guy. Again with it.
Didn't you work for Negan, you stupid son of a bitch? And okay, and then.
Not because I wanted to, but because I had to.
I feel like
they have a choice. These people have a choice.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah, super choice. But I feel like that, and I know you hate when I talk good about him, but I think Jeffrey D. Morgan is the only
saving the show.
He's the only.
Show. No, I don't hate when you talk bad about Jeffrey D. Morgan.
Talk good about him. I mean, like he is the only light of energy on the show.
I don't hate when you talk good about Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, it's about Negan. When I talk good about Negan.
It's about Negan in the first 6 seasons of his continual dialogue diarrhea that was the same forever, droning on with it like zero.
Is this the Eddie Murphy thing on television for us here? Am I starving for like anyone to have any life to it? So when I get the Ritz cracker of Negan when he gets up on screen, it tastes real good because every time
he's a good actor. He's funny. He delivers his lines well. It's just if you look back at all my critiques, it's about mostly the writing of Negan and not Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Like his portrayal of the character, he's doing what they want him to do. It's just they had him doing such awful shit. They have him out of his comfort zone. He had 5 years in a cell. That changes anyone. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, it's one thing to be 5 years, I guess, in Gen Pop or with a population of other prisoners. It's completely different to be 5 years in a cell and the only person you get to talk to is a priest and a fucking child, right? Oh. If that at all for a week at a time.
You mean our lie detector? Our human lie detector.
Our human lie detector. Yeah, God. Yeah. Our psychotic human lie detector. No. You see them, you take teeth. You take fingers.
I don't forget what he did, that fucking motherfucker. Let's get to the live.
Right? Like he's the same fuckhead that let his whole congregation.
Yeah, let's not forget.
Yeah, he's the same.
Yeah, I'm not forgetting
that got Bob eaten.
Dude, he's the same fuckhead that smuggled a gun into Oz and got some whole bunch of shit happening. Like gave a gun to Adebisi. You don't give a gun to Adebisi. What the fuck? Did he do that? Was he the one that did that? Clayton Hughes? But whatever.
Oz is so long ago now at this point. I don't remember, but
yeah, someone will correct
even
me.
him like. But it's Jeffrey Dean has done a great job.
He did, especially in the first episode when he popped on screen. In his whole scene with Alpha, when it's like, you zig when I zag, I thought was one of the better scenes of the season. I think she's been more bearable in this half a season because of the moments with him. His whole situation with picking out that Gamma was the spy and the way he like brought that up to her. Because I have to say this too. I really love. I'm Hurt or whatever his name is, Opie from Sons of Anarchy, and na hey goodbye.
Yeah, as much as
I like him as an actor. He sucks in this. He's just a fucking walking Frankenstein. It almost reminds me of what Bane was in the Batman and Robin movie, the George Clooney Batman and Robin, when Bane's just Poison Ivy's little. Oh, I'm not Tom Hardy's. I'm Bane. Not that Bane. The big stupid dumb fucking oaf of a Bane. And it's a shame because that's my shame here because he's a good actor. Again, I make any opportunity to bring up Garen Dillon Hunt. I've caught up a little bit on Fear the Walking Dead. Like, I hate Fear the Walking Dead, but he's like still a great actor in that show, so he shines through. This guy is not shining through in the character of Beta on the main show, The Walking Dead. He's not.
They're doing the same thing to him as they did to Jeffrey Dean. They're like, okay, you need to encompass all evil, all bad, all the time. Only you don't say anything, and just kind of like, we're gonna focus on your mask instead of Jeffrey Dean's. Don't stop running your mouth.
Yeah, it's a shame because
like it's a direct parallel, like opposite, but it's the same exact fucking character.
It's a shame, Joe, because the actor is very physically intimidating. But yeah, but exactly, he's very physically intimidating, but he's not. He's not one of those guys that just has size and he can't pull off line reads. He made a name for himself again in roles like Remember the Titans, where it's like a dialogue heavy and a big interaction of the character, and then obviously in Sons of Anarchy, Opie was a very emotional, one of the more emotional of the characters on the show. So he played a lot of varying degrees of anger and the physical stuff really well, of being physically intimidating, and one of the intimidating guys in the club as well. But really it was his emotional dynamic, how he dealt with Clay, how he dealt with Jax, and everything that happened with his family. No spoilers here, but basically it's just a shame because they're underusing him on the main show, because he could have been, and I know they can only go to the source material, but again, the show add more to the dynamic of the character in the way that you did with the governor, for instance, earlier in the series.
They could only go they could say that line again. They could only only had what, the source material. They had to follow the source material.
Shut up, Joe. Okay,
did I really just hear that? Is that something that exists
at this point?
Minds? Source material.
Okay,
there is source material.
Do the writers have minds? I forgot to ask the big question. Do the writers have minds when thinking about these fucking storylines on the show? I don't know anymore. I don't know if they're trying to make a good show. What I was going to say before is, like, in the governor situation, like, the governor was, I think, a more developed, interesting character in the show than he was in the book experience, where he was just kind of quickly through. It's a shame that they don't give a shit anymore. There was one moment in the first episode, or was it the second episode? It was the first episode, excuse me, with Negan and Alpha, when Negan's telling her that they're all the same, and I just heard, like, I could hear Joe smiling over there. I saw the Joe Rant icon flashing right there when she's like, "I'm not the same as you," and it's like, "No, you and me are exactly the same." And Joe's like, "You guys are all the fucking same."
They are all exactly the fucking same. It's ridiculous. Like, are we going to talk about the fuck scene?
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about everything. So let's get into the live motherfucking chat here, because people caught up here.
Blue. Where did Blue go? Blue Steel makes it great. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Blue.
What did Blue Steel say?
Eugene should survive. Get fished by the lady on the radio. Turns out to be a big bear.
We all are imagining that Eugene is being catfished in some way, shape, or form right now. Corey Mitchell says, "I love the part when Daryl passed by the dumpster in the cave, and Rick and Lori and everyone's like, 'Come on down here, come on down here.' They all float. They all float. Come on, Georgie. They all float." Corey Mitchell says, "They're kind of shocked that they didn't sing Jenny from Old Stone or whatever." Adrian says, "I can no longer watch any show that Ice Films is gone." Corey says,
"We had sandwiches, Jenny."
Read down by the way. Do you remember when we used to have sandwiches
on the park bench
next
on the hill, Jenny?
We need to get some Fly the Conchords sound cues here. Next episode, JDM is gonna stab Alpha with his magic Valerian steel dagger, potentially. Fuck this show, says Jason Voorhees. Someone is pouring honey in my ears. I missed you two crapping on this mess.
It's not honey, it's pine sap.
Yeah, it's pine sap. That's gonna be gonna be very flammable. What is it? It's sticky. It smells like a Christmas tree, Joe.
Tar, man. They just got tarred.
Oh my fucking god.
And like, I'm like, they setting up. Katie's like, wait a second. So they all went outside the wall to the cornfield. They got a cornfield that's gonna. I said, no.
If they build it, Joe. If they build it, they will come.
That they're gonna. It's like a fence or something. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, I don't understand why they didn't take every drop of fucking gas and make a fucking lake of fucking soaked burning shit to light this horde on fucking fire. Why didn't they take all those fucking batteries, Phil? I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, that's okay.
Why didn't they take all those fucking batteries, right? One battery, one speaker, one radio, one treetop. right? 200 yards out from the fucking place. So after all the fucking zombies get out, you could turn them shits on and make the whole fucking horde go fucking crazy, not know what it's doing, turn back on its fucking whisperers, who then have to turn each radio off on their own because, you know, like, come on, like, there's a million things you can fucking do. Instead, let's make an electrical wire that will cut off the head. Like, that barely even makes sense. Their little that's gonna short out in a half a second. If it doesn't just snap and break.
Joe,
immediately
come on, Joe, that was a minor inconvenience. Come on. That was a minor inconvenience for the that bought them a whole half a second. So we could have that.
Yeah, right.
So we could have that Lord of the Rings moment where they were like, "We're winning, yay!" And then, "Oh my God, we're up against it," and "Oh my God, we're
fucked." It didn't even start yet. Like, we're winning. Like, all right, you cut one head off.
We did it. It reminded me of a team that's down like 42 points and they dance when they score a touchdown. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Are you kidding me, dude? You did your job for a half a second today.
Yes, the live motherfucking chat is back. We got KCA Randy. Greetings to you. Thank you for jumping back in here. Skyrim is for Nords. I haven't forgotten that either. Poor Eugene had his chance to tag Rosita, but will end up dead. That
kiss would have ended at that kiss. Because she would have been like, see, you really do want her. Either way, she was going for that. Like,
yeah.
See? No. Do you want to pity fuck me on the right now?
Isn't the answer...
Get her out of your head.
No, it's funny that she got really possessive over Eugene in that moment when he was interested in somebody else. It was a fun little moment between the two of them. Won't you kiss me to prove to you like me? It's just in that moment. I don't mind that kind of stuff, Joe. You know, I watch Beverly Hills 90210. I watch cheesy love story movies.
That was a moment.
It was a moment, but it's felt out of place in the show.
At that moment, at that time, like to be worried about like, oh, you're anonymous. Internet chick is, dude. We have far worse shit to worry about than this person that you've been hiding from us on your fucking radio up here. What the fuck? It was
a little bit too much, like the writers stepping outside and trying to be like, do you like Spike or do you like Angel with Eugene? Who do you like here better, Spike or Angel? Let's ship a group. Come on, let's do it. It seemed a little bit too much like they were reaching for. Oh, we need to address the people that want these two to kiss. We have to do it. We have to address it, Joe. We have to talk about it and be meta here for a second because we know people are talking about the two of these guys.
You know what? This is all fucking that shithead Gimple's fault. I don't know what the fuck AMC is thinking. He took this show and he fucking rammed it into the ground little by little until he just fucking pounded it. And once he pounded it, he jumped ship. Like AMC was like, thank you for taking away millions of viewers. We're going to give you a whole new boat to pilot. Pick your successor,
Joe,
and the successor has just pissed all
unfortunately, you're right. I think when we look back at this show 10 years after it's done, if we're alive, because they may milk this thing forever before way past you or mine's lifetime. But if we get to that point, we're going to look back at this, and this is going to be the biggest, like, fuck this thing till it dies thing next to Star Wars. It's going to be like the Star Wars and The Walking Dead, and how much can you milk this fucking thing and push this storyline and spread this you have a little tiny piece of butter here that was very successful and very tasty, and you're trying to spread this thing off the endless piece of, you got one of those, like, 6-foot sub rolls, and you got to get the little butter packet
all the
way down the motherfucking thing. It's just, you keep trying to spread this stuff, you keep diluting the product, making the walkers less of a prop and more of, again, to do a Disney comparison, like a real haunted house versus going to the haunted mansion at Disney World where you're just like, oh yay, everything's so fun. Now nothing is dangerous. There was one moment for 1 second in all 3 episodes that I felt danger from the walkers, and I thought they could have cashed in on something. And yes, just for the record, as I said earlier, we're not doing a full recap of tonight's episode. We're kind of just talking all over the place about the 3 episodes. I do have some notes for all 3 episodes that we will go through, but this won't be a full recap. But when they're climbing out through the cave, I believe it was in episode 1, when suddenly they had the walkers inside the walls climbing with them, I was like, after they had already established that what's his name was having trouble, that Carol had sudden claustrophobia after many years, and correct me if I'm wrong, live motherfucking chat and comment section. Has this Carol claustrophobia thing been a thing before? I don't remember it. It's not like Garrick on Deep Space Nine. Ding, everyone drink, Deep Space Nine comment, where they set that up a little bit at the beginning, then they have a big episode, and then it comes back again later in another big episode where his claustrophobia is an issue that gets set up. Is this just something that they made up for the moment because they had to make Carol have a fucking panic attack for some fucking reason?
And then go do some stupid shit with some old dynamite?
Okay, fine.
You're gonna let dynamite off while you're all still in the cave. Yeah. While you're all still in this fucking place. But we can see a ray of light. Big Boy's holding up the fucking pillar on his back, you know. Like,
Jerry and Jerry is probably the other person besides Negan that actually shows some life in the way he delivers dialogue. But Jerry should have died right there. You're telling me you're gonna pull the he didn't bite through the shoe. They have my feet. You're like, oh my god, you're having an old Walking Dead moment. We're gonna have to look at Jerry, a character we like and care about's face while he gets ripped apart in the other half of his body. This is sick. This is gonna happen. What a way to show the show has a little balls again, that you can just in a moment where I was watching it being like, everyone's safe. There's nothing here. Oh my god, wait a second. Jerry's actually gonna get killed?
You didn't actually think that.
For half a second, Joe, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do something here.
Way. It would have been nice if they were pulling on him and like the top half of Jerry came out. And
the man. That's what the show 5 years ago would have done. I feel like, at least to a certain extent. I don't know. I just want to catch up in the live chat before we move on here. Oh, Eugene should have. That was your comment. Was honestly, this show needs to just off everyone at Hilltop except for Carol, Daryl, and Judith, and they need to hit the road with the who cares about anyone else in this show. And that's basically what I'm saying, Jason Voorhees. Ha ha ha, kill, buddy. Because I agree with you 100%, buddy. That like. It's just, I don't care about anybody else on the show, and that's the problem. Because before, and I've said this, repeated myself way too many times, the show was never very good. It was always generally, it had its moments of fun tension, but you cared, or at least this is my opinion, I cared about it because I cared about the characters. It was at least...
First few seasons, if you had said that to me, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, the show was never very good, I would have argued with you. But you know what, Phil? I was like, after that first episode, first of these three, I put on season 1, episode 1 with Katie.
Oh, just to try to feel.
I was like, I wanted what I loved again, and I'll tell you, it started, Phil. These last seasons since the dumpster, I guess, right?
Yep.
Since, if not beforehand, but definitely the dumpster. Since then, I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, Katie, wow, like every scene, I'm like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
It's Simpsons itself.
Wow, this is bad.
It's Simpsons itself. And like to the point where it's gone on so long
I can't watch. Right, exactly.
Where I can't even watch. I personally, and I know other people can. I'm not separated from it enough that I can go back and watch good Simpsons episodes, and I can't go back yet personally to go back and watch old, because I've had a similar experience. But in those early seasons, what I cared about and what made the show good is you at least took the time to develop what seemed like real people. Real characters, 3-dimensionally, that you felt like you could put yourself in their situations and be like, what would I do in these situations? I think that's what grabbed something about this show at its prime. People they asked themselves those same questions. They said, would you do what Shane did when you were escaping the school and shoot the dude to save yourself? Would you do what Lori did and end up hooking up with your husband's best friend when you think your husband's dead in a coma because he's protecting your family? Like, what would you do in those situations? Would you do what Glenn did and get the car and go and have a fun moment?
Dude, so I'm watching season 1, episode 1, and I'm thinking, how long could Rick have been in a coma in that hospital without food and water and all that, where Laurie's like, all right, he dead, let's fuck. How long was that, really? Literally. How many days had it been since that hospital fell?
Hours,
Since the town
Joe.
was evacuated?
Hours. No.
Like, come on.
I've seen
It
Prison
couldn't
Break.
have been that long. Rick would be dead. Couldn't have been, right? Like, unreal. Or at least, if not dead,
or
not getting out of that bed.
Yeah, or how quickly did Shane go into creep mode? Like how quickly did Shane just turn it on? Wow, Joe, you're getting some funny like screen freezes right now. I don't know. I don't know if the people, if it's just me seeing the screen freezes.
I'm seeing the screen freezes too.
They're just funny on funny situations. Okay, let me catch up with the chat here a little bit. I think Henrietta said she's new here but she agrees with glasses hippie dude. It's amazing that you're glasses dude now, Joe. Joe's new with the glasses.
Yeah, I went blind. I turned 44 and I went blind and got Bell's palsy all at once.
Right in the same fucking day. Walking Dead will probably have Carol knocked up now. I'm hoping the helicopter crashes on all of them at this point. Blue Steel says, or just sacrifice a field, set it to burn, let it fill up, let it fire. As we discover.
Yeah, that's how hell of a pause on the live feed. Wow, the screen freeze.
Yeah, that's a funny one. As we discovered via Bond and Alexandria that they're attracted to fire, simple solution crashes the burden. What morons? Didn't they kill 9 million zombies when Alexandria was invaded? Well, at least
right, exactly. 4 of them did.
Well, at least Hilltop didn't get the coronavirus. Hey, Walking David, good to see the Walking David in the live motherfucking chat. Corey Mitchell says, Rick's gang is stupid. You did not have to roll in zombie blood and guts. Just put on a mask.
They can't tell the difference. Go to any horror store, department store. Get your zombie mask. Maybe a Frankenstein mask might work. And just put it on. The zombies will be like, what's that? That's not a human with brains. I'll just move on.
Henrietta says...
Like, if you dress as a furry, could you be safe?
I think so.
Will that confuse them, too?
I think so. And they can't bite through it, Joe. Don't worry.
Right, they won't be able to bite through it.
They won't be able to bite through it. They didn't get through. They didn't get through. Sorry, Henrietta says, fuck this show, fuck The Walking Dead, shills, and fuck King. Oh, God, Henrietta's going right into Joe's heartstrings at this moment.
She went on the boat to go to the island with the dude that was
the island?
Camps.
The island? Where do we go? Was Sawyer on the island with Kate?
I don't know, Sawyer, yep.
That island with Charlie and...
some polar bear.
Yeah, some polar bear. The polar bears were explained. Okay, so the light of the island was. Okay, sorry. I don't want to talk about that show. That's a whole other can of triggering. What are the numbers? 16, 35. I wish I still had the numbers memorized. Excuse me. David says, Daryl carried the episode. His scenes with Judith and Ezekiel were the best scenes in the show in a long time, in my opinion. I think in general, Norman Reedus has been good in these 3 episodes and has stepped up to the more material that they're giving him. I thought he was good in the last episode with his whole battle with Alpha as well. I thought that was... Yeah, it was some silliness, but I thought it was fun, and I like him in the leadership role. I think him and Judith do have good chemistry and I think the scene with him, and I actually wrote about that in my notes, the scene with him and Ezekiel was well done too, because it was like a no kind of bullshit scene. It was right to the point, and I think those scenes are good on a better show, but it doesn't make the narrative of the show. But from like single off acting scenes, I totally agree with you, David. I think yep. Reedus they're giving him more to do, and he's stepping up. Somewhere where our good buddy is saying this to me. I hear the sounds of Tim Gersing. But I'm sorry, Tim. But okay, so Abigail says, miss the live shows. It's good to have you guys back. This is probably one of the only Sundays we'll be able to do this, as that other show that Joe doesn't really want to talk about is coming back and starting next week on Sunday. So I'm going to be talking about Westworld. And Joe sometimes has Sundays off. This is a rare Sunday for Joe to have off.
I got 2 weeks from now off.
Okay, so maybe we'll do a double fisting, or I'll make you watch 2 episodes of Westworld or something and get you on here for that.
I'll have to do all of season 2 to catch up.
Nah, we'll talk about that later. Let's not get on that. With that show, just watch the Just watch. I could address some good YouTube videos you can watch to catch up on all that shit. Okay, so but we missed you too, Abigail. It's great to be back here. I wish we were talking about something better, but you know, at least a couple times each half a season, we have to come out here and talk about this and repeat the same things that we've been saying for years. But before, and I agree though, there seems to be more Walking Dead shills now, though, coming back in this last season than have been around in a while. People that are saying resurgence of The Walking Dead. A lot of AMC forgiveness press coming out with them saying, "Oh, we realize that the show lost a little bit of steam in the Negan years. We're gonna make up for it." Some really awesome things. They've been selling again. Fucking A. Okay, sorry. Stupid rant time from my point of view. Why do they have to tell us and leak through stories in the news that there's going to be a big cliffhanger at the end of the season? Aren't cliffhangers better when you don't know they're fucking coming?
Phil, I would make the argument
at fucking coming.
Cliffhangers are a tried and true measure used by only the shittiest of hack fucking writers.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty there.
You put on these cliffhangers, and Walking Dead does it every season and every mid-season, and it's fucking unnecessary. It's fucking
Joe, I blame Star Trek. They've been
fucking.
These shows have been
bullshit.
Trying to copy what Best of Both Worlds has done in that Picard is a Borg. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Like that scene at the end. Shows have been trying to capture that drama. I would disagree with you to a certain extent that I still think that they can be done well on a show that knows what they're doing with it. You know, that can.
So here's the thing: to leave tabs open. Does it, like a cliffhanger is supposed to be, you know, edge of your fingers, dangling over the cliff, life or death. Oh my God. But when you've proven yourself to be incompetent at that, like to the point where we killed 3 people and we got back. That shouldn't have been the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger should have been you bashing the brains out of somebody, and then we have to wait to see what happens to the rest of our fucking group. That's a better cliffhanger than coming back from who's going to get their brain bashed out, and then nobody caring about any of the people because you mourned them all of them already multiple times over the last 6 months. That's not even a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, they don't do cliffhangers right. If you have to rely on that for your show, you're a shitty fucking show.
Right.
And this show is proven to rely on that every mid-season.
Right. They're doing anything. And now they're trying to sell that they're going to have this big thing at the end of the season that's going to get everybody back into the... It's going to be the biggest thing that ever happened. And I don't like, again, aside from all that, even if it's this narrative excellence that they somehow managed to wove into the story, Rick Grimes comes rolling back into town. Whatever happens, right? Whatever the fuck happens, okay?
In a helicopter with Michonne.
Right, with the machine, down on a machine gun, exactly, with Carl on his back and Shane in his pocket. You know, they're all back.
Leave the dead out of this.
Okay, fine, whatever.
They put in their time.
Yeah, they
got out with their lives.
They're out.
Let them go.
They're out. let Shane be the Punisher somewhere else, okay? I agree.
Let Carl go find himself at school and in the movies somewhere.
Yeah,
and let them be free.
And show up on like Celebrity Fit Club season 20 or something. But no, I don't care what it is. Either way, I just want to say this. Either way, you fucking de-ball it, Joe, by telling us it's coming. Like, why fucking tell us it's fucking coming, assholes? Welcome, Lindsay. Welcome, Jay. Welcome, Henrietta. Welcome, everybody.
Real quick, speaking about getting away, remember back in season 2?
Thank you, Henrietta. Have a good one.
When they killed Dale off, who was supposed to be, like, on the show for quite a while.
Oh, yeah, because he was pissed off that the show...
About the Darabont shit, about what they did with his friend who put him on the show in the first place, right? And everyone's like, what an idiot, man. Dude was smart. Dude saw that light through the tunnel and got the fuck out way before the shit fell in.
And Jason's like, what sort of stupid cliffhanger could they do? Thank God Vince Gilligan didn't sell out Breaking Bad to AMC like the rest of The Walking Dead did. In fact, they wanted him to. They had begged Gilligan to do more seasons of Breaking Bad right after seasons 4 when it was starting to get really popular from a commercial standpoint. And Gilligan's like, no, I got one more season. And they're like, can you give us 3 seasons? And they're like, I got one more season.
I'll give you one more and a prequel.
Yeah. Oh no, he didn't even say the prequel at that point. It was fine. Fine. I'll give you 16 episodes instead of 12, and we'll split them across 2 episodes and 2 seasons. And you'll talk to Peter about doing his prequel series and it's gonna be about Better Call Saul. and in a way, they were kind of joking. I've heard them talk about it before. It was like a joke, like yeah, we're gonna do a whole series about Saul, and it's gonna be a 30-minute situational comedy set in Saul's office, and it's gonna be a laugh track, and it's gonna be hilarious. Like that was the original concept. I'll be talking more about this tomorrow, but that was the original concept, and I don't want to distract us talking about.
It can still go there, Phil.
It might. The final season, I could see an episode of that being like that. Anyways, Abigail says, this is the same show that tried to draw people in the show by saying Andrew Lincoln was leaving. They never fucking learn. Is Michonne gone from the show now? I remember she's going to be back at least once during this season, but then I believe she has gotten
off
her
movies.
escape. Yeah, she's off to be a Marvel star, and so she's gotten her escape ticket as well.
Didn't she like write and produce something just recently too? That was
yeah. She's gonna have a career now. She's like, get me off this show quick. What Andrew Lincoln should have done 3 or 4 years ago. She's like, please let me run before the Walking Dead stink gets me forever. Great to see Lindsay in there. Patrick Stewart should have accepted a role on The Walking Dead. Oh my goodness. Catch up. Eugene found himself a girl. I ain't mad about the Boar Fest. Oh, I ain't even mad about the Boar Fest that is season 10 and a half. Because Lindsay, because Eugene's got himself a girl. Not gonna lie, this episode was better than 2 garbage previous episodes. Abigail says, is this the same show? Yeah. Oh God. Anyone miss Jadis? When I'm being miserable watching The Walking Dead, I like to think Joe is even more. By the way, why so many movies and TV shows like the yeah, armies outside walls. It's so fucking stupid. Okay, Joe. Yeah. Why don't you hide behind the walls that you built? Why do you put all your soldiers in front? Why
are you out there?
Why not siege? Why not stand up at the walls and siege downward? Isn't that the point? Like,
the siege goes the other way.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Anti-siege.
Well, and I'm thinking too, like if you're doing it that way, eventually the fucking zombies are gonna walk up over the pile like a ramp. Right?
Sure.
No?
I mean, it's a difficult situation. If we're really going to judge the logistics of this realistically, and she had that many walkers charging there, it shouldn't have even been a situation.
Like, how did you like okay, you two, if there's any sign of anything anywhere about anything anyhow, get on the radio. All right, we're out of here. Bye. 3, 2, 1. Who's hanging in the trees?
Oh yeah,
really? Those are your only 2 scouts? You sent 2 scouts? That's it? That's what you said?
Yep.
We got to move the whole tribe off the fucking hilltop.
Oh my
We'll start
God.
with the kids first after we send the 2 other kids that we obviously never trained in anything. Just gave them the fucking motocross fucking vest and we're like, bye.
He's just been playing Defender on a little fucking Casio video
Game Boy or some shit.
Yeah, little
right?
Game Boy or something like that. That's all he's been doing. I was trying. That's a Tiger handheld game thing. I couldn't think of it. What Roger says, when everyone thinks that they're miserable watching The Walking Dead, Joe's even more miserable. I got into a fight with the person that I live with tonight because of The Walking Dead. It was we were watching other things
because of the person I live
yes, I got into a fight with the person I live with because of The Walking Dead tonight, like a big fight, because she's like, I'm not watching this shit. I'm going to bed. If you're putting on this show, I'm going upstairs. I'm not
spending any time with you.
Yeah, I'm not, no attention. I will not spend time with you if I have to watch this horse shit.
And if you do this, you better not put on video games tomorrow.
And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta do it. I gotta watch this. And then I get in Joe's messages. Joe's being like, we can cancel tonight if you want to. I can cancel it.
Oh man, I already fucking paid my ticket price.
We were gonna get beers and drink tonight, but this show isn't even worth drinking to.
No, I meant to go out and get them before I went to sleep, and then I was like, I'll get up early and I'll go around and grab them. No. That wasn't happening.
Yeah, the Hilltop scenes needs Ezekiel the White looking at the hobbits over the top. Yeah, and riding into the sunshine. The scene between the Hilltops and the Walkers was such a ripoff of The Longest Night. I almost choked from laughing so hard. It was so many.
The Hobbit's gotta hatch first.
What was funny was I was just happened to watch Return of the King and Two Towers in the last like 24 hours back to back, and there were some similarities to things that they just kind of lifted in that situation. And then with the darkness, I don't know. I don't even know. We're usually I tend to have a roadmap of this, but we've been on now for 40 minutes, literally just ranting all over the place about these 3 episodes. It's hard. It's difficult because I do like digging deeper and finding meaning in things and trying to argue with Joe sometimes and say how it's good, but there's nothing there. Okay, let's get into it. I guess let's get into the not the show, not the.
You're gonna put a recap.
Oh no, I'm not. I wasn't gonna do that.
That's your segue into that music.
No,
so let's get into the. Wait a second.
No, I was gonna do a different segue. I was gonna do a segue into some. Whoa, damn, this board's starting to break. I was gonna do some like random porn music here. Yeah. So to get into the whole Negan and Alpha coupling, Joe.
Now everybody was like, "Oh, so gross." I'm just like, "Yeah, they're a little dirty, but yes, fuck."
Yeah, I mean, come on, like it's good. What I did not
like what?
What I did not like about it. What I didn't mind the. Hey, yeah, let's fuck. I want to give you a thank you, fuck, right? What I don't like is how just because they fucked, now all of a sudden they're like Gul Dukat and Kai Wynn at the end of Deep Space Nine. Like they're a pair now. Like one fuck makes them a couple. You know, like they did once and that, and now suddenly.
That's too far. I agree. I don't like how they're doing that.
Right, like oh hey, like we fucked, so you know everyone that fucks once automatically becomes a couple. You guys know that, right?
It should be now. Go get back in line, get in the back, fucking make sure you dig the next latrine, and I'll right back to that.
Cause I don't know about you. Do you have any doubts that Negan is kind of playing long game con here?
Of course he's playing long
and
game.
He's gonna fucking stab her in the back to protect his.
I'm surprised he didn't fucking cut her fucking throat open.
It's coming, Joe. It's coming, Joe. He's gonna somehow.
Like when he threw her fucking doggy, he should have just fucking started ramming her fucking head into the ground, fucking completely smashed her brains all over the place, and looked at Big Beta Boy and went, "I'm fucking alpha now."
Yep.
What?
Yeah. Ultimately,
what?
that
just like Rick.
What? Yeah, that's how that
fucking
scene.
Naked, fucking bitch brains and blood all over him. Oh, the triple V. I like that.
Yeah, that was good. Good alliteration there, Joe. Nick motherfucking Diaz in the live motherfucking chat. Great to see Nick Diaz in the chat. And what a perfect time to come in. You're come in right for that little side note here. I was half
that would have been perfect. And like I heard some people say some shit like, with the mask on though? Yeah, dude. That shit's big bucks.
Yeah.
Look up horror porn.
Yeah.
Look that shit up.
Yeah, I'm with Negan on that. I'm with Negan on that one. It's oddly working for me. It's that was a great line, and I gotta give Jeffrey D. Morgan great credit. The smile, the smirk in that moment when he's just like, "Fuck it." You know, any that has a little bit of a not voyeurist, a little bit of an experimentalist
and that's
thinking that could kind of see themselves in that moment.
And Phil, and that's the difference between Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Eugene.
Oh yes, he's going for it. Yeah,
she's like, kiss me, and he's like, I can't. There's a voice on the radio, and he's like, and she's like, I got my fucking Uggo mask on. And
I don't care.
Dirty and stanky. Jeffrey Dean's like, let's fuck.
Yeah, and freaking Rosita looks like she's showered and, you know, like has her hair, but she's gone to the hairdressers and stuff. You know, she's definitely been to hair and makeup and stuff. And she's like, kiss me, Eugene. You've had crushing on me for like 27,000 years since but you won't kiss me because you talked to a girl on the radio.
You'll jerk off outside the fucking curtain
why Abraham
plowed.
Yeah, so
but you won't fucking kiss me, and you wonder why I haven't fucked you and never will.
The look she gives him, like, you're such a fucking pussy. You're such a pussy. You are such a pussy. Santovia Major. Great to say Santovia in the live motherfucking chat. And Lindsay says, I was half expecting a Dothraki army to teleport in the middle of the standoff.
Oh my god, right?
Arya's
going to jump out of a fucking
She's going to stab Alpha. Yep, that's the setup. That's the setup. Negan's got Arya waiting in a tree.
It's gonna be Judy.
It's gonna be
little Judy's gonna.
Dude,
jump
I
out.
think you fucking got it. I think that's Joe. I hate to say it in a joke, but timestamp this. I think Joe has just figured out the end of this season. Negan is gonna make eye contact with Judith, and Judith is gonna jump out of a tree and kill Alpha. It's gonna be a combination of Negan.
He's gonna be sitting down.
Yep, it's dude. I'm not even kidding. It's fucking happening. The combination of Negan and Judith are taking out. Judith's gonna like jump on him from like a chimp on the back.
No. So JDM and/or Norman will be fighting the dragon that is Beta.
Yep.
While Judith sneaks around and kills the Alpha.
Or both of them. Both of them. It will be Negan and Daryl working together to bring down
Beta
because he just killed Carol or something, or like it pissed them off. Like Beta, we're gonna get one big death. Like Carol's gonna die maybe or something like that. But
Carol's dead, Beta's dead. Judith kills Alpha.
Joe's giving. Damn it, Joe! Don't give AMC any ideas.
And the goiter pops.
Good night, Jeff.
The Hobbit finally hatches.
Good night, Jeff. Great to have you in the live motherfucking chat tonight, buddy. Do these writers think anyone gives a shit about Eugene and Rosita's romance? I think they do, Roger. I think, unfortunately, they do. Oh, my goodness. Eugene friend-zoned Rosita. I ain't even mad. Cintopia says, why am I not surprised you said that? And yes, do not give them any ideas right now. But we can't help it. That is absolutely what's going to happen. Oh, God. So yes, I don't mind them fucking. I thought the scene made some sense. Like I said, I enjoy what Jeffrey D and the Negan character did in that moment, sort of winning her over by being perceptive enough because he's out of the whole shit. He's not wrapped up in the whisper crap, so he can kind of look at things more three-dimensionally and knows what, I can buy that he would know what someone Two-Face would look like and can kind of see the scene clearer. How he was smart enough not to throw Beta under the bus when he goes to talk to her. He's like, yeah, that guy is 100% on your side. That guy's not gonna go behind your back at all. And he calls her out. I like that she used it as her own plan, said not to say anything, so being the alpha, she could present that information as her own, and then when it ends up becoming true, going back and giving Negan a thank you, being you're a perverse guy, you would like a perverse thank you. I thought that was one of her best line deliveries since she's been on the show. He's just talking. She's like, will you shut up? You're a perverse man. Crass man. You would like a crass gift. I just thought that setup was kind of neat and fun, and they had decent chemistry between the two of them because she seems a little toned down in some of those scenes. So I get that, but again, my problem with it is now they did that, so Negan is her Smithers, her number 2 guy now, who even though he's not Beta to her, but Beta's sort of out there as her muscle and doing his own thing. Now Negan is the one whispering.
Who should have died last week? I agree. There, Roger Gapsky.
Maggie is coming back. Jay, I forgot about that. Maggie is coming back. Oh, Maggie, what's her name? I'm blanking on the name.
Who's Maggie?
Maggie Reed. Whatever. Maggie, Glenn's wife, Maggie. We forget so much, Joe.
Oh,
you really not remember?
One.
Oh well, yeah, not anymore.
Didn't she get eaten at a dumpster?
No, that's her husband. Glenn got eaten at the dumpster. Maggie. Okay, so Maggie's gonna come back at the last moment and save the day
with
too.
Rick and Michonne in a helicopter.
With a super mech suit for Judith, so she can kind of fly through. I think we're getting somewhere. They're starting to call her Judith the Slayer. She travels north to join the Night's Watch. The Beta's infiltration from last episode also pisses me off. He could have been killed like 3 times. Does he have like magic tunnels in the? I don't know.
Yeah, he just like rises up out of the dirt and he like dug himself through underneath. Like I don't understand. Like they've done nothing in 5 years. They all just sat around and circle jerk. Why would they even have 3 communities? Why didn't they all go like, listen, we got Alexandria. Let's bring the wall from here over there. Let's extend our borders. God. Let's all live there together so we don't have to walk 100 fucking miles to each other.
Jay, but SM, she's coming back this season. She is not back yet. I think she'll be back by the end of the season.
Why, Maggie, you idiot. Oh, wait, your other show bombed?
Yup. Yes. Her other Negan
should have stayed gone, you fucking moron.
I know. Get away while you can. She's like, I need the paycheck, maybe. Bernie, Negan ruined this show. Fight me. No one can fight you because I mean, a lot of things ruined the show, but Negan was definitely one of them. So there's no fight. I wish I could fight you and be like, no, shitty writing ruined this show. It's not Negan's fault. Let's not get focused on Negan. A lot of things fucking ruined this show. But it's great to have Bernie in the live chat. Glenn under a dumpster ruined the show. Also an acceptable answer. It's one of those things, if this was a multiple choice question, similar to like what broke up the Beatles, if you're like, too much time, Apple Music, the bad lawyer, Yoko Ono, D, all of the above. The answer would be D, all of the above. What ruined this show? Horrible writing, spreading the story too thin by adding a prequel series or another series. So you lessen the talent in the writer's pool. If there was once talent in the writer's pool, you kind of lessen that. Scott Gimple could be an answer that ruined the show. There could be many, many, many reasons why. AMC's urgency to turn it into more of a cash machine and protect some characters, because it made more sense to sell the show by not ruining certain characters, because if X character dies, we riot. So the writers actually listen to what the fans want to try to be a little bit too fan servicey. All of those things ruin this show, and Negan ruined this show, and Negan ruined this show.
Santevia, why did it take one season to start and end, but the Whisperer storyline is taking forever? The Whisperer is now, it's only been basically one season, right?
It
so
just feels
the same, but
it feels.
I don't know if that's. See, the Saviors, to me, took forever, and that was because of Negan. Like, if you take out the 7 hours of Negan talking throughout that season, literal 7 hours of just Negan saying the same 10 lines over and over again, if you take that out, you have half a season.
It's true. It's true. Lindsay in the live chat says, the Judith scene made me want to pull my hair out. I would have bunted a little Miss Mary Seal over the wall. Blue Steel says, Maggie's on the radio, finds out she was meant for Eugene all along. Great to see Bernie in the live chat. Corey, Robocop comes out and fucks their shit up. Great season ending. Bernie, Joe, Bernie has a good point for you, Joe. Don't bring logic into this, Joe. What are you doing?
Yeah, logic and something have gone up. What there's a quote here about logic and something. Oh, that's what makes. Oh, what do you get when you?
This sounds like a different kind of joke.
When you take away, what do you call someone without logic?
Don't tell that. Just stop that. The Walking Dead writers, the stupid.
The Walking
Dead. The answer.
It's Jack Nicholson saying that.
It's
joke,
in all. It's in.
it's how he writes women so well.
It's in
culpability.
It's in. I would say that about the Walking Dead writers.
The Walking Dead writers, correct.
Yeah, that could be. Take away all logic and culpability. That's how you can imagine what the Walking Dead writers are like. Jason Bourne.
That's the room at AMC.
Yeah.
This room is the Walking Dead writers. Lacks all logic and culpability.
Hey, you know what we need to do? Everyone's really digging this Eugene Rosita thing. So we need to have a scene where they almost kiss, because it will be cool and everyone will talk about it. We can have articles that say, will they or won't they?
Will they or won't they? That's still a thing. The will they or won't they, Rosita and fucking Eugene.
It's happening. See it tomorrow. There's going to be some article that says, the kiss that almost happened that the fans wanted. Twitter's screaming about the kiss they wanted to happen. There's going to be an article that says that as a headline tomorrow somewhere. So I could find it now. It's going to exist, and it's going to be from We Got This Covered. Twitter's crazy. We got this covered.com says, we got this, says Twitter is ablaze for the kiss that almost happened. Johnny Blowjob 420 says, I wish Eugene kissed him. Hashtag kiss that almost happened. See, it's ablaze. It's happening right now, Joe. It's happening. So, sorry. Joe needs to just speak in a British accent. Dumpster Gate was the canary in the coal mine for just how bad this show would get, says Lindsay. Roger says the way they just gave up trying to remove a tree from the road because Daryl just assumed. Okay, yes, that fucking moment.
All the roads will be like this. There's going to be another tree just around the next corner.
But dude, what I love is that Daryl could just sense through the magic of a tree being tipped over that means Negan's.
Negan.
It's Negan. It's Negan. You know what? Only one. It reminded me of that scene in Spaceballs. Only one person dare gives me the raspberry. Lone Star. It was just like Negan. It has to be Negan. Oh my goodness. Not having Carol and Daryl boned ruined it. Wait a minute. Did they bone? No one can remember. I don't think they did. Oh, that reminds me, Phil. Phil and Joe, are you guys doing an after show for the second spinoff in a few weeks? I didn't even know that was happening. We will try to do that. Yeah, we might not do it right after the show, but
it's your Walking Dead teen drama.
Oh, I might like that. Like Riverdale, Walking Dead.
It's
Riverdale.
Going to be, from what I think, it's going to be like. It's even like Future from Here apparently, so it's only kids that know nothing about this world.
Oh, so it's like the Young Justice, or it's like the Young Justice League of
like
the Walking
Lord of the
Dead.
Flies with zombies.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Only they never knew
I'll give it a shot. If I can like one or two characters in the show, I might go through it. But
I'm definitely giving it a shot.
We'll give it a shot, and we will refer to it at least on some podcast in the future or some live stream in the future.
So what I gotta kind of like.
Yeah, how the hell does Daryl gonna be the new Wolverine? Is that what happened? Because how the hell did he heal so fast after literally bleeding to death in the last episode? I think
it's been like. And how did what's her name get?
Fairness,
how did she get him out of there?
In fairness, again, see our previous thing that how do you imagine the Walking Dead writers, all reason and logic out the window. They decide when they want to do jumps in time and they don't tell you. I think there was supposed to be a month or so.
No, because Carol's fucking whole head was still bloody.
Was it? Okay.
When Goiter goes and sits down next to her at the fucking old whatever camp she's sitting at, she's still fucking bloody.
Talking Spit says, Phil, where the hell have you been? I've been in the world of the theater the last couple of months.
And they're still talking about getting their people out of the fucking cave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The people are still in the cave. Who's stuck in the cave that we care about? Daryl's girlfriend in Magna. Is Magna down there too?
And the badass girl.
Magna is her name, I believe. The badass girl. And then a couple of red shirts, right? And then probably a couple of red shirts.
No, I think it's just them two.
Just those two. Ozarks in a few days, everybody, or few weeks. Ozark, I believe it is March 25th or 6th. I can't wait for the next season of Ozarks. Joe and I will probably both binge that pretty quick and talk about it.
So how'd the little girl get Daryl out of there?
I don't know. Magic.
Like
a wizard
Phil,
did it.
How far do you think you could move me as dead weight, completely dead weight? Joe Grant I've drank way too fucking much, and I am fucking passed out in the middle of the fucking park. Do you think you alone, Phil,
Mr. Dirty Locks? I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you. I don't think I can do it.
I'm not stumbling. I'm not using your shoulder because I'm fucking out and bleeding to death, drunk.
Yeah.
Can you get me to your basement from the bleachers?
No. Maybe. I could get you. It would be a while. I a lot of start and goes.
Do you think I'd have shoulders left?
No.
My arms would be completely ripped out of my sockets.
Listen, you did all these conditions are really fucking with the equation here. Could I get you there? Yes.
But I'd have broken shoulders.
Oh, I'd be rolling. I'd be like kicking you or drag. I'd find a way to spin you and kind of roll you there a little bit. That's
like a log.
Yes, it would be like the toboggan, like you watch those shows on ESPN2, like the outdoorsman competitions. I'd be tobogganing you all the way back to the basement room.
Yeah. So no, how did this girl get him all the way back to fucking town?
It's fucking
to the top.
The wizard did it again. Gandalf the Grey showed up and helped them got on the back of an Nazgul.
Yeah, like and that she left her mom alive.
Blue Steel says Daryl found a bottle of Robitussin and poured it on the wound. Let that tussin. Just get some tussin. He listened to Chris Rock stand up and he knows all you need is tussin. I think tussin for everyone. Too bad 99% of this cast wasn't in that tunnel. Trailer for season 3 was great. I definitely love that. And we also have a trailer any day coming for Cobra Kai season 3. I've heard rumblings of a few characters that might be chosen for this next season. Get that, people that might know what I'm talking about there. But I've heard some fun stuff, maybe some Bad Boy Barnes stuff coming up in this season. So I'm excited to see where they go. The Walking Dead is a prime example of why fan service is not always a good thing. Since the economy is collapsing, maybe they will kill off most of the cast to save the money. Thanks, Joe. Joe got his Ben Franklin specs on, trying to trick us into believing what he's saying. Joe needs to speak in a British accent. Is Maggie coming back? Yes, Jay. Maggie is coming back. Yes, hell yeah, Chris Rock. Okay, cool. I thought I caught that for Chris Rock, one of his funniest stand-ups, who I'm very excited for his next stand-up too. One of the funniest guys in the fucking face of the earth. But yes, I just smoked on. My mom just put tussin on it. You cut your foot off, just put some tussin. That shit will grow right back. I love that stuff. Westworld, Better Call Saul, Ozark save us from the shit they call The Walking Dead. In fairness, right now, I was saying this before, it's a good time for television. It's almost. No. The Walking Dead has gone to a point, I think for seasons, at least through the Negan stuff, I felt at least it was a little bit more fun watching it and making fun of it. Now I just find it kind of slow and boring, and it feels like a slog.
This was extremely slow. This episode, like I said, I'm watching it and I'm like, really? Like right down to the right before like the slow-mo still shots of our gang waiting and thinking of their ultimate demise and last goodbyes
Joe,
to each other before
those
the big
slow
battle.
motion moments. Let's symbolize one. Wait 1 second. Stop. I really love doing this podcast with you, Joe. We may not make it till tomorrow.
Kiss me.
I love you. I love you. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do this.
Pussy.
Joe, I don't know if I can do this. Oh, and Fargo season 4. Lots of great stuff coming up this year for television. We got it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got eventually the Orville is coming back as well on Hulu, which I'm excited for that. I mean, there's a lot of good shows that are coming back. The Walking Dead it's tough. It's a tough slog right now. And I appreciate that there are people that still enjoy the show. I would ask them to check their pulse, but I mean, that's just me. I'm wondering, I can't do it anymore. And that's why we're not coming out here every week. We are going to catch up, and we do catch up and watch the show at our own leisure. But if I had to take real notes and really get into this, I'm not kidding. No, I got into a fight at home.
Keeping up with it weekly.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. But Joe? Recap! Ah!
Huh?
That's right.
Huh?
Recap!
Didn't we just finish the recap?
I think we did.
They burned. Shit got caught on fire because they talked about I love you, I miss you, bye, kiss me, shit burn, slow mo.
That's Joe's recap of the episode.
Done.
We get so much more. It starts off with Opie cutting a tree and making some marks. I just want to give you an example of like how I'm checked out making notes of this episode. I'm going to read this less than a recap. This is listen to my stupid notes about this situation. Okay, this is my stupid notes. Starts out with Opie cutting a tree and making some dumb marks. Negan and Alfred go to the next level of kinky whisper shit. He whips her arm. They trade whips. They trade each other. This is a joke, right? This is a joke.
Yeah, right. That wasn't like what the fuck was the point
what the
of that?
fuck was the point of that? Again, Walking Dead writer's room. Hey, it's kind of neat that we're putting our last two villains together. What if they get into S&M, dude? That would be kind of cool.
What the fuck was that?
Because he wears leather and she wears masks and stuff. It like totally makes sense, right?
This is the stupidest shit ever.
It's stupid. At one point in the episode tonight, Joe, who we usually don't text back and forth during episodes of things, we try to keep it. Joe just texted me a couple of times. This is so stupid. This is so stupid.
Well, I said, oh, I'm so sorry, Phil, for making this be the episode I have you catch up on.
Oh my God. There was a lot of apologies. There's definitely some apologies. I hope the rumor about The Walking Dead ending in season 12 is true. I don't know how much two more of it I can take. Netflix Love and Blind is so much more interesting than The Walking Dead. I'd rather watch Messica Pine for Barry. I haven't watched Love is Blind, but I have watched The Circle. The Love is Blind is the next one of those cheesy, horrible reality shows I will watch.
I'm not okay with any of this on Netflix.
Okay, I actually, and it's from the same person that did something in the End of the World, or I was looking into it. It looks pretty good, Joe.
Is it from that same? I see it. I see it.
Yeah,
it's from
you know the one, the other Netflix series that got canceled. It's it's called whatever.
Is it the one about the kid and the girl?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I watched both seasons of that. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show.
The End of the Fucking World.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, Katie. 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 Katie.
Very yeah. Mom.
What's the show?
Give me pizza rolls.
They run away. Then the in season 2, the other girl's gonna go kill them.
Way to give spoilers already.
They kill the. In season 1, and the girlfriend comes to go kill them.
Put her on this.
Is it the End of the Fucking World? Yeah. Is that what it was?
It's something like that.
So I am not okay with any of this. Is made by the same people.
I think it is has some crossovers with the talent pool. The ratings of The Sleeping Dead must be bad. What's interesting, HD, they keep trying to rationalize it, saying, "Oh, seasons aren't, ratings aren't what they used to be." But The Walking Dead every week is hemorrhaging viewers. The live chat is screaming out to Katie. I'll continue to watch the show till it reaches the end of the comics, which they're really getting close to the source material conclusion. I have never hoped for coronavirus cause something more great in my life than has caused this show to end. Jason wants the coronavirus to end The Walking Dead. I love how the Sleeping Dead is a very good Holger Dansky is a very great name for this show. I also refer to it sometimes as The Walking Disaster or The Sleeping Dead. I think are two good names for it currently right now. So let me continue with a little bit with these stupid notes here because we might kick on something here. So lots of walkers. The Whispers are marching. We are the end of the world. We are the end of the world as we know it. With Negan in a mask too. Then we get to sushi on a carburetor and I don't know. Fuck. Oh yes. Fuck. Bear McCreary, the sound designer. He can fucking eat a fucking douche bucket right now. Fucking Bear McCreary makes every episode of The Walking Dead more boring. I talk about this a lot, and I know there's not much piling on I could do about how bad the writing is, or I often like to say, oh, the production value of the show looks pretty good, or try to find these things that are good. I tend to focus very much on music in a show, soundtrack. I think it really not so subtly affects the mood, the tone, the pacing of something. If you have fast-paced music to something that's boring, you can make it feel more exciting. See most of 24. Boring shit's happening, but the way they edit it makes it seem like it's exciting while you're watching it.
Like CSI, like they're looking at Q-tips and little puddles and in the lab looking at microscopes and moving slides around, but it's
Joe,
and everybody's like, ooh, science is going on.
Look why I'm changing the camera angles while Joe's talking. It's like dun dun. It's really intense here. Dun 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 dun. Yes, they killed off everyone I like, and who's left? I don't care about this. I hope they kill them all. I hope it's a Metallica song.
People walking off the hilltop.
And we've saying this so much. Great point. That's the biggest, and I'll repeat myself until I can't speak anymore because it's the truth of the matter of the show right now. We don't care. The people that are actually seeing this show for what it is. And yeah, we're the ones that are really looking at this show. I don't care. I'm going to be, because no one that likes this show is making it this far in a podcast. So I'm talking to the few people that might be watching this that actually realize what this show is. Nobody cares about these people on the show. Sons, Daryl, Carol, and maybe Judith because of the Rick connection, and maybe Michonne, maybe some of our originals. But most of this is Saved by the Bell, Scrubs, the new cast shit, where they have the main characters, 90210, the spinoff, where you have Kelly and fucking Brenda there to make everyone okay with the fact that we're having to deal with a kid from Degrassi Junior High as the main fucking star, and Auntie Becky Botox, who's in prison for paying money for her kids to go to college. Like, just to make us feel better. Oh, and by the way, the grandmother from Arrested Development's there too, so it makes it better. I might have lost some people, but if some people that know what I'm talking about will be in for a treat there. But you get my point that basically the show now is, if you don't like all of those new characters, the Magna group and some of the also-rans that are the extras, like that old man that has the baby, and GQ freaking Enid's boyfriend, that savior dude, I don't even care to know his name. It's buried in my mind somewhere, but I don't even give a shit about that fucknut's name. But if we don't care about these people, you don't care about the show right now. And I can't get invested in them because they don't spend the time. After a certain point in time when we got introduced to new characters on this show, they stopped giving a shit about introducing new characters, and they introduced caricatures like Poochie the dog. And this, again, another Simpsons reference here, but it's every new character that's been on The Walking Dead since maybe the time when they introduced what's his name from The Wire, Tyrese and his sister, and like all of them. I thought they were the last people that really felt like they were introduced as characters. Everyone that sort of got introduced after them, with maybe the exception of Aaron, has been introduced like, hey everyone, it's Poochie. It's this character Jesus. You should care about him because he's cool and can do karate moves. And look at his hair. Look at his hair. He's sexy, and he's gonna have a romance with someone you care about. Like it. You know, or Aiden. That's that douche knuckles name. I think that's the name, Aiden. And where is Dog? Fucking asshole. DJ Better. Great to see the lovely DJ Better in the live motherfucking chat.
Right, all that fucking Blizzard shit about going to save Dog. Where's Dog?
Yeah, Dog.
I agree. Good call, Voorhees.
Dog has taken a dump, and Dog, which is far more interesting than what we watched. I would have rather watched Dog running around. You know when you have to sit outside and watch your dog, like wait for your dog to go to the bathroom, and it's just walking in circles until it finally stops and take a big fucking dump somewhere. That is the exact simile or metaphor or comparison.
That is The Walking
Dead. That is The Walking Dead right now.
Watched.
Watching your dog running around in circles. It's a handful of characters that you're asking a bunch of, who is this? Why do I care? And I'm adding a little bit to your comment there, but I agree. Awesome, Jay. I will play your message towards the end of the show. We'll jump in there. Dog is the best actor from last season. Okay, so the older dude, Eugene tells her he's in Virginia, and he says an easy peasy line to kind of quote Negan to show that something's spent his time with Negan meant for something. Then we see that older dude that we're supposed to care about talking shit to Aaron about and not wanting Mary to see Gamma, but we all know Mary's gonna see Gamma, so why do I have to listen to this stupid bullshit just to add some unnecessary drama? Come on, old man, little prick, just deal with it. Okay, Carol's alone on a rock when the king comes and he heard what happened in the cave and he understands, and they have a conversation and they pause with a cryptic line and a half joke about mosquitoes and a half smile. Why do I care about this? Off to more people I don't care about. Oh yeah, the Magna group. Okay. Then here's Daryl with Lydia. Done. Okay, Rosita, see Joe, and I want to go through this because this is important. This is the recap of this episode.
This is Phil. This is where I am now. I'm hitting up Facebook now on my phone. That's where you've lost me, Phil.
I've lost you because I'm talking about the episode. Like, what the fuck? Okay. Like, what the fuck else can we say, Joe? There's nothing else to say. I mean, I could talk about this, but there's nothing else. There's nothing else. Rosita calls Eugene about getting some action at Oceanside. Eugene, why she give a shit? Then they're gonna make out.
We just leave now, me and you, Rosie. Let's just get out of here. I got a hot date in Charleston. Fuck these people.
Then we get a good scene with Negan and Alpha, where Negan needs to zig, or where she zagged, or the other way. Strike that, reverse that. Negan wants to bend the knee to Jon Snow here. There's like a. Oh, but I don't know. The fan base also needs to face the fact, without Rick, this show is not the same. Will never be as good without him. This is his show and Carl's story. Yeah, I said it.
I'm sorry.
Maybe that's
it's exactly the same as it was with him for the last since Dumpster.
Fair enough, but to Lindsay's point, I think to myself, what makes this show extra boring right now? And at least when you had Andrew Lincoln on there, you had a second actor, you had at least another actor there kicking ass, and every time he's on screen, I think Rick Grimes gave commands presence. So by losing that presence, that energy, even by doing the same shit, you would have needed to, and we talked about this a lot when Andrew Lincoln was leaving, that if the show was to continue, and you were talking very positively about giving it a chance, new showrunner, without the main character, maybe they could do something unique and differently.
I've still watched every episode on the day of the immediate day, morning after.
Yep. And 100% Joe has joined the live chat, checking in every 5 minutes. Phil is alone, trying to make sense of all of this. Making Dirty listen to the recap of this bad diarrhea session is just cruel. I did like the scene with Daryl and the little girl. We talked about that earlier, Roger. She is one of the few rays of light on this show. I hope she gets more. I hope
big career ahead of her.
Yeah, I hope she gets in a good show. I hope this show doesn't destroy her career and she spends the rest of it going to conventions and shit. Like, I hope that she kind of pushes it and gets a good part in a movie or television show where she can show off some range, because I don't know, I see something good in her as an actress. Like, she seems to have, she has a presence that kind of jumps off screen in a way that it's funny to make jokes of some of the young kid actors that turn into shit shows, but like young Corey Feldman or young Rudy Rudiger there, like a Goonie or something. Like she has a lot of like light to her where you could be like, oh, she could be big later, like Sean Austin was. Well, I won't go to Corey Feldman. I'll say Sean Austin because he's legitimately had a career his whole life, and he has this like smile about him that he had.
How about the
the other one?
I was gonna say
Babe.
Brolin.
Oh yeah, Brolin. But
I guess he was older.
Yeah, he was older. Like he had already lost his little kid cuteness by that point. Yeah. But I do like the actress that plays Judith, and I think hopefully I wouldn't mind her and Norman doing a movie together or something like that, like a buddy cop sort of buddy thing movie with the two of them. I think she could be funny in a funny movie. But I see some.
Or maybe she goes the route of Haim instead, right? Becomes this like super fucking Hollywood junkie out on the boulevard, fucking blowing dudes, trying to make a living because The Walking Dead ruined her whole fucking life.
It's unfortunate, but when you look at child actors, it's a little bit better than it was for child actors in the 80s these days. So
true, the Olsens changed a lot.
Let's hope, yeah, because yes, they have. So let's hope the best.
Not they've changed a lot. They changed a lot.
Oh, I thought you meant like they've. I thought you mean they've mutated a lot. They've mutated.
The Olsens changed a lot because they paid those kids and
made
sure they were protected.
Her name is before we keep down this route. Lindsay says her name is Kaylee Fleming and absolutely adorable, and she's very talented. It's too bad I hate her fucking character. Let's not forget the girl that plays Sabrina on Netflix was a kid in Mad Men. Hopefully Judith continues to get parts. Absolutely, and I Don Draper's daughter. She's very talented, and like it was great to see her kind of grow into the actress she becomes on the Sabrina show, which I think is a very underrated show because of because of how silly the old Sabrina was. And I know some people loved it, but I really didn't like the original show, and I think this remake of it has a lot of like balls to it and is a fun show.
I don't know what you're talking about with that fucking child. What's the
Draper's
daughter from what? Draper's fucking awful bullshit. Homeland daughter, fucking same stupid fucking written fucking.
Is she on Homeland?
No, just the same character. It's the same character as the fucking daughter from Homeland. As the same character as the daughter from fucking everything that like.
Well, she shows off her acting range a lot more in Sabrina. So Drew Barrymore.
Does she show off her.
No comment. Drew Barrymore is okay now. I thought one of Drew Barrymore's best performances was in Santa Clarita Diet, which it's a shame that show got canceled because I
always hated Drew Barrymore so much.
I know you have. You've since we were kids. Like you've always had a sort of you can't stand her. Like you'll make
no business being on the screen at all.
You'll like make fun of her constantly when she's on screen. Did you watch Santa Clarita Diet though?
No, I have not. I have not. I know you told. I will. I still
Me and
plan on checking it out.
your mother and I have both been trying to get you to watch that show. Your mother loves that show. It's a funny show, and if you even don't
Dude,
like,
I hate her like I hate that fucking True Blood fucking chick.
oh yeah, you have actors and actresses that you have like that you have just blocks on. You're like I can't dig on this person. There's a comedian that like that you have something for too. But I get it. There's certain people I have things like that as well. Has anyone watched the Two Coreys movie? It's good and it's fucked up. I have watched that and it is good and it is fucked up, especially if you grew up with them and watched all of that. This is why killing off Carl was the stupidest decision ever. Judith would have been better development if they build off an arc between the two of them instead of having and I'm going to add to that, instead of having the arc between her and RJ, and RJ is basically an empty shell of a character and we don't have any dynamic with her and anybody.
Who the fuck's RJ?
Her Michonne and Rick's kid that is the little kid that's walking around with them that we haven't really been introduced to or cared about too much because they sort of sped up all of that child growing's life through like fast forward time jumps. So we haven't actually met him yet other than to say, this is RJ, Rick and Michonne's kid. Hi. So like it hasn't really been established. It's almost like a nip tuck kid. You know, it's there. It had an operation early to get the hand done, but then it's not talked about again. It's just brushed to the side.
Or like the kids in Moms, where they just kind of write them off the show.
Yeah, it's and they pop them in when they're necessary to be like, oh, hey, there's a kid. Okay, so quick hi before I check this shit shot of an episode. Igor, great to see Igor in the live motherfucking chat. One of our oldest, and I don't mean old like he's 90, but one of our oldest viewers that have been checking out our show since the early years when Joe and I would talk about The Walking Dead in good ways. Where it's like, oh my God, Joe. Like if we listen, I always want to play one of our old podcasts of us talking about The Walking Dead and make fun of ourselves. Oh my God. In that scene when someone died, it was so amazing. It was like unexpected and it just killed it. Okay. So there's a meeting of the minds at Hilltop. The old dude's like, we should fight. And the other dude's like, no, we shouldn't fight. We can't fight, but we want to fight.
All right. So we're going to run.
And Judith wants to fight. Okay, so there's a roadblock or something, and somehow Daryl just knows it's Negan. Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
All right, looks like we're going to fight. Let's go.
But Rocky, you can't fight the fight. I'm not going to fight the fight. So the old man comes on. Yeah, the old man, yeah, he still doesn't want to let the girl see the baby, but the girl's going to see the baby. Now, Ezekiel gets some from Carol. Yeah, there's some smooching, and she gives him some. Okay. Gamma sees her nephew, even though they said that wasn't going to happen. And Aaron's like, come on, dude. Just let them go. And that like righteous savior douche-nard
happens to randomly walk into the right room that got the baby in it, which randomly is the right time when one of the two people who gives a shit about her not seeing the baby is there as well.
So Ezekiel and Carol, as I mentioned, have death sex. Who cares? So Eugene needs to use a lot of batteries. Oh, we're talking about the batteries. The batteries to set up this electric fence situation. Rosita's getting drunk, or is it water? Were they drinking, or is it water? I don't know. I think it was water. She's talking shit to Eugene, and this is the kiss me scene, Joe. I think we talked about this in nauseam. No more to talk about this. Carol and Lydia have an interaction. It's hard when you hate yourself. Blah 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 blah. Kumako's an asshole, and everyone hugs, and blah 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 blah. Oh God.
We've talked about the rest of it.
Okay, no, this is one more thing I want to say. We start off the next part of this scene with a slow motion song, like it almost. I think it was a Johnny Cash tune or something, and it was like one of his really slow tunes. It's like, and then we had.
It was Eugene singing to his bitch on the radio.
It's just slow, and comparative to how this show does montages, to how like something like Better Call Saul does montages, it's just amazing that we have the greatness of The Walking Dead showing that, you know, baby of a show, Better Call Saul, how montages are done right here, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank God we have this example to look up.
Yes, this is the example of this program. No one has guns or cars anymore, or knows how to make a damn thing anymore. If the Whispers had Drew Barrymore from Firestarter, no reason for anything. How old is Judith now? Judith is probably like, 11 or 12 on the show? Would you guess that her character is like that? Younger? Maybe as old as like
7.
7. Okay, somewhere between.
It's been 5 years, and she was maybe 2 when we left.
Yeah, so she can maybe, but there's been so many time jumps. Are you sure about that time? I think Judith is 11. I'm gonna say 11. Sure. Somehow she's 11.
Somehow, yeah.
What do these people wipe their ass with after a dump? They all have Eugene installed bidets in all these houses. You know, the shit cycle, and negative power happens. You need a blast of quick butter of you need. They use the 3 seashells is what they do. They've learned to use the 3 seashells. So it's been 15 years since the Walking Dead timeline started, right? Right? What the fuck? Don't ask these questions. Okay, we start looking at art, slow music, waiting. Daryl and Carol have another slow talk. We see bodies, blah, 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 blah. We're back. Okay. The fence comes down. The Whispers are all shooting jars of flammable substances that smells like Christmas trees. Alpha's shooting fire. Everyone's on fire. Everyone's going to die. They're all going to join their army as part of their horde. And Negan calls her a badass.
But look, we formed a phalanx and that fell apart in 2 seconds.
And now they are in a ring of fire. And that's the end of our episode, Joe. I could do another one of those recaps on the previous 2 episodes, too. But I think we're done with that, Joe.
We're done.
We're done.
You're done. You're fucking done, Phil.
See, this is where we need that Mike Ehrentraut quote going on there. Wasn't Eugene making bullets at some point in time? They didn't take any of the bullets he was making.
Yeah, or keep making. All right, they don't pick up their shell.
He can't make bullets anymore. He doesn't know how to anymore. He lost that part of his brain.
Like they should have over the last 5 years. Shouldn't there be like armories stacked? Come on.
You're done. You're done.
You're fucking done, Eugene.
It's over.
Done. Let's jerking off on the fucking interweb radio there with his fucking voice porn.
We have a couple of voicemails from our good buddy SMJ. If anyone wants to call in at the last minute here as we start to wrap things up, as we need to I could hear that. I don't know if you guys could hear that. That's Joe letting out the gas that is The Walking Dead right there for our audio listeners. He smiled right afterwards too. I think that's like when your baby.
I had to push that one out a little
bit. He's been holding that one in for 5 minutes now. Okay, so if anyone has any last minute questions or comments that we didn't get to, I missed your comment about the show, or you think we're full of shit and you love this program, you can call in right now at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509, and leave a voicemail or text that number if you're afraid of the sound of your own voice. So let's get into this, and we got 2 messages from Jay, and let's play this first one.
Hey Joe, if only the shadiest writers use cliffhangers, what does that make the Game of Thrones writers? They use them like almost all the time, or at least a bunch.
Well, not cliffhangers, did they? Like, what were the cliffhangers from Game of Thrones? Were they really cliffhangers, or were they just still open tabs for next? Think about the end of one of the seasons when she walks out of the fire. That's not really a cliffhanger.
No,
and then one of the other seasons that ends when she walks out of a fire. Not really a cliffhanger. Like, there's open tabs. There's more things that need to be done. The story is going to go somewhere. Not everything is wrapped up. Life does move on. But, like, these massive big moments where you don't know the immediate outcome of the immediate event that you're involved in at the moment.
Ooh.
Like everybody's on their knees waiting to get their brains bashed in.
Ooh.
An open tab is like the aftermath of that, whereas the cliffhanger is who's going to get their brains bashed.
And I would agree. I'm not even going to go further down that. I agree with you, Joe. I think a good show knows how to tie off a storyline and then open a new tab to get you interested in what's happening in the next season. I think Game of Thrones at its best did that better than anything, where they ended the storylines that were building up in the season in the episode 9 usually, and then gave you something epilogue-y in the final episode and then leading into the final season.
Because they had that source material of books to do it from.
Joe, to get off The Walking Dead here for a second, I have a question for you from the live chat right now because I don't know anything about this. You know about this video game, but a lot of people are
The Last of Us Walking Dead HBO series. Oh, yes, I can't wait. Oh, God, I hope it happens.
Do you have to poop or something?
I'm having a lot of pain at the moment. Some gas pain.
If you need to,
in my belly.
okay. So have you heard any of the casting information about this?
Nope.
Have you heard that?
I got people who want certain things, but like there's nothing.
I've heard, people can correct me if I'm wrong in the live chat, I've heard Jaime Lannister rumors.
That'd be bad.
You think that's bad? You don't like the Jaime Lannister?
I've heard like 3 or 4 different names mentioned, and I don't want to even start thinking about that part as of right now.
Being a Last of Us fan of yourself, like similar to someone that would be way into The Witcher or something like that, before the Witcher series come out, I don't know anything about the Last of Us story. I've heard a lot of really great things about it. I've watched a couple of your gameplay videos. Is this a video game series that is prime for a television show, for something?
Yes, it could do really well. What I'm worried about is where they're going to start the story, whether or not are they really going to make it a Joel and Ellie story. We have their story. We have the second part of their story coming out for a video game. Those games are so well told. The stories are so well told.
Will they just retell it?
Really, I don't want to watch a retelling of that story. Give me Joel from the moment his daughter dies in the 10 years, 12 years between, him getting to Boston and meeting Ellie. Give me the brother's story after he leaves Joel. Give me any other random people from that timeline from the start of the cordyceps outbreak would be much more interesting to me than just rehashing Joel and Ellie's story. I think it was already told amazing. I think the voice acting and the creation of that environment digitally was absolutely fucking amazing. I really hope they can recreate what they did with what you see in the video game. But as far as
I fear in
what
something
story
like that,
they tell, I don't want it to be Ellie and Joel.
Yeah, I fear that I'm having not played it, that they're going to be making it for people like me, not people like you. And this first one that they're going to do, or the first season, will be the video game to get all the people. And I don't have any information about this, but to get the people that have never seen it into the story.
So right, but see, then you don't need that. You don't need that. If you want to get people into this story, if you don't know the story, you already don't know the story. So what the fuck is the difference? That story can come at any point down the line, right? But as for people like me and the massive amounts of people out there who have seen the best game of the decade, the best game of the year, and who have played this game over the last 8-9 years, they already know this story.
Right?
They know it well. So they're going to not necessarily lose them, but not necessarily be able to keep their interest if they don't do everything.
Right. They're the ones that are going to be watching this being like, they better Game of Thrones season 1 if they're going to do it, and do it in a way that people are like, think that it actually gives justice to the game, and maybe gives you a few angles that the game didn't give you, that you could only do in a full storyline. Again, it's hard because video games are such a more immersive medium, and you feel so much more a part of the game. It's tough to give you that experience when watching that, and that's why a lot of games don't translate as well to a visual medium. A lot of people are like, oh, Legend of Zelda would be an easy movie to make because it's just a fantasy game. But what makes most of the great Zelda games, like Breath of the Wild or something, is that when you're in the game, you feel like you're this nameless hero and you're surrounded by this world. You can't recreate that feeling in a movie when you give a character personality, because it's not your personality within the game. It's not your mind within a choice that you make in the decisions. And that's why I think
go into these buildings? Do I not go into these buildings? I only have, like, when you're playing The Last of Us or Zelda, and you're playing it on, I don't know if Zelda has the difficulty levels that, The Last of Us did, and you're playing it on grounding mode, and
this most recent one does. This most recent has like a master mode.
And so you're picking up the minuscule amount of shit that you can. You have 3 guns, but you only got like 4 bullets for 1 gun. You have no materials to make anything with, and you see the door, and you say,
"What door?"
Well, that's a good way. There's got to be something in that building that I'm going to be able to use, or a clue, or an item to pick up. Do you go in there, or do you just go along where you're pretty sure the mission is going to go to anyway and skip that? Those are all the personality decisions you make in the game, and that help to fuel why that game is so good. You're not going to get that, like you said, in a movie.
It's tough.
And
It's tough. That's why video games are a tough transition. You have to do something different, or tell a story that's compelling, or go off in a different tangent. Like, I'm not a big anime fan, but the Castlevania series on Netflix has been extremely well done. And if anyone knows anything about the Castlevania series on Netflix and had a chance to watch it, I wouldn't go on here to do a full recap on it, just because it's not my medium. You know, I can't judge it compared to other anime. I've just compared it to other video game properties, and I feel like it does Castlevania justice. You know, a movie like Wreck-It Ralph, for instance, doesn't necessarily specifically focus on one video game series, so it gives you kind of like an overlook type thing. I didn't necessarily hook into loving The Witcher, and I played through the Witcher video game after seeing the season, and I love the game, but I didn't love the series. Because for that reason, I felt like I was more compelled by this world, being in this world. It's hard because some video games, like a game like the Arkham series, you see Batman, so it's like, you know, it's the opposite thing. It's like, can you get a video game in the world of like of the heroes you live in? A game like Last of Us, all I know about it is that it gets said by video game fans as considered one of the tightest, greatest video game narratives that has ever been put out. At least I hear a lot of people saying that. I haven't played it, but I don't think I'm speaking out of line to say that. I've seen that in forums. It gets a lot of best games and best stories and stuff. To translate that into a medium on a show, I see why they're trying to do it. The fact that the writers from Chernobyl worked on it, as someone popped in the live chat, I think that's hopeful. I think they're going to take it serious. And is it HBO? Does anyone know where it's coming out?
HBO.
Okay, then it's going to be good. It's going to be good for at least a few seasons.
Yeah, and I'm really just hoping that, like, we pick up on cordyceps outbreak in Texas somewhere with Joel and his daughter, and we see the chaos unfold around this little girl, right? And you don't know it, like, we know as the player what's going on, but we don't know as the character what's going on. So, like, the TV's on talking about shit, this shit exploding off in the distance outside the window. All these little things that are just so, like, in the first 2 minutes are really cool. So we've seen that in the game, but I'm suggesting we see that at least again. But does it have to be Joel that's going to meet Ellie? We know his story. We've done that.
Could we meet that main character later in the season, and we start with someone else, and then we end up bumping into them?
Or like what I'm saying is, maybe we pick up from right there, and instead of just jumping the 12 years, we take a season or two to tell why Joel's brother split from him, what it was between them that they ended up fighting and hating each other, where they split, which got Joel to Boston or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, what about the time it took Joel to get from Texas to fucking Boston? You can give us a season or two of that before you even introduce Ellie.
Yep. No, and quickly from Jay, because I know he always.
I'm sorry.
Please.
This goes on that point. And
Continue.
And this is, so it's been years since Joel's daughter died, but this will at least give us more background into why Joel is such a fucking tight, gruff character, and things that he says to Ellie along their journey when they get to Philly and they get ambushed. And she's like, how did you know? How did you know that was going to happen? He's like, I've been on both sides of those many times.
You do not think...
Like, let's see all that.
Let's
see him be a fucking asshole ambushing people. Let's see him be a good guy doing good shit. All the things that made him our hero for the game.
And you cannot see Nikolai Costa-Waldau, Jamie Lannister in that character role?
No.
Could you see Judith as Ellie?
Who?
Judith
as Ellie? No, and there was another one, Arya. Someone said Arya as Ellie, and
she's too old, isn't she?
Well, she still looks like she's still only 5 feet tall.
That's true. She could play.
I forget who they said is the main as Joel, but
I thought I heard a recent article with seeing the Jamie Lannister thing.
Well, that I didn't see that one. There was another guy, but I think they could do. What you know who would I think Liev Schreiber would make a good Joel?
Oh, Ray Donovan there.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think he's doing much right now. Okay, let's play.
Or Viggo Mortensen could make a good Joel.
He's definitely not doing it as well. And people are that'd be great, Joe. I'm going to try to I'm going on vacation, but I'll try to timestamp the Last of Us discussion in the video so people can hear Joe talk about that as well. And Joe and I will be definitely talking about that series when it comes out, as I know that game series has meant a lot from like play. It's a game you've logged hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on. So you're
still turn it on.
Yeah. So you're very, and I still see you pop it on. It's a game. So it's a series you're very much, we'll be watching it. Yeah. We'll be watching it with a fine tooth comb. You're going to be one of those fans of the Lord of the Rings books when those movies first came out.
Game of Thrones ended and I canceled HBO.
And this will get you to get it back again. So here we go, and there'll probably be good times for 2 more years when the Game of Thrones prequel series comes out as well. So Jay, to chastise us about that we're part of the problem here. Okay, let's listen.
Do you ever feel like by having your The Walking Dead recap and by continuing to watch The Walking Dead every week, that you're part of the problem for why the show isn't getting better?
Yes.
Because the writers and the people.
Yep.
They're doing it to spite us.
Yep. It's our fault.
Probably don't care as long as the cash keeps rolling in.
Yep. Oh, he's right.
And as long as you keep having shows like this, everything that you protest will just keep happening, and you're going to be part of the reason why. All right. See ya.
Yeah,
You're right.
I gotta say, yeah, he's right.
Can't argue.
He's right. We're the fault. It's our fault. But Joe, before I let you go, because I know it's starting to get to that point. Other fan picks for Joel are Hugh Jackman and Gerald Butler.
That was it. It was Hugh Jackman. It was Hugh Jackman and Arya. That was the one I saw, and I was like, that'd be fucking awful. I don't even know if they'd have chemistry. Like, let's not just say it because, like...
Pale Horse Rider says, where's Phil? I don't want to look at Joe Dirty Clocks anymore. It hurt my eyes. Phil had to eat a sandwich. I'm sorry. No, what's good, Phil? It's great to see Pale Horse Rider on the live motherfucking chat. So we're going to end this discussion talking about one last show here. Jay did have a solid point there. We are part of the problem. We can't deny that, which is why, to answer to Jay's point, which is why you don't see us here every week. Because it got to a point where I'm going to get some comments in this video. I deleted. It
was just depressing.
It's depressing. Like, if you listen to some of like our last couple of Walking Dead casts at the end of last season, or even the one we did later, I get private messages sometimes with, why are you doing this? You hate the show. Stop rooting our parade. Why do you do the show with an obvious hating troll like Joe Dirty Locks? Fire him and do it with someone that likes the show. You know,
if you want that, go watch The Talking Dead, asshole.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. We're still waiting for our invite to have us on The Talking Dead, and we would not fucking Eugene up there. If we were on stage there, we would talk shit about that show.
I'd kiss that bitch.
But
fuck.
But we'd watch our language. Thank you, Pam.
I would try. I would watch my language come out of my mouth like the filthy sword rack shit it is, dude.
You'd be like, we just see
that's what I would watch.
We just see the bleep mark go.
Like fucking Morse code.
So let's talk about a good show here at the end to cleanse the palate a little bit. Let's talk about a little bit about the most recent episode of the Picard series, which, you know, perfect or not perfect, I can definitely see some criticisms that could pop up for it as some of the Star Trek fans and some other people that are watching the show. It's a lot of lead up. It's one single story that if this was a show that was on, if this story was being told on Next Generation, it would be a 3-part episode instead of 10 episodes. That being said, I'm enjoying it. The most recent episode, so much because it's bathed in just the right amount of nostalgia. This last episode was the episode where you could almost like a Frasier episode. The episode where X showed up. This is the episode where Riker and Troy showed up. And what did you think of the reunion between Captain Picard and Riker and Troy? Did you enjoy this?
Fucking awesome, dude. Like, Riker was badass. Like, oh, you're in trouble. Shields.
Yeah, shields up, and then his whole like
stealth detection.
And then Deanna was actually not useless in this episode, like she
we
was.
have a red alert.
Deanna was actually not useless like she is through most of Next Generation. She kind of called Picard out on his sickness, and
yeah, poor girl with the existential fucking crisis, breaking down, could kill everybody on the fucking compound, maybe even on the planet. And Picard's like, "Yes, your worst nightmares are true, you silly twat."
But yeah, I loved it. It was another great episode. The last 2 episodes have been couple of my favorite. At this point, talking about the series as a whole, I think we'll be touching in at the end of the series. Once the whole season's over with, I'll be talking about the season as a whole. Joe and I will do a season recap after the last episode. And then I have a good friend of mine, Miss Smith, that is going to be joining me for a discussion. And I might also have a YouTube friend as well join me at some point in the future to talk about things as well. Me and Mr. Quinn have been talking about doing something about Picard as well. But I think it'll be easier once the whole season's done. I can kind of do a rewatch and take it all in. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I think the performances are good. I think it's visual. The biggest complaints that people are having about that I've heard about Picard from the general Star Trek fan people are who's Deanna is that everything's dark, that it has to be, that everyone has to have a sad story. You know, Picard's gonna die, but Deanna and Riker lost a kid.
Right. The one thing that Star Trek has been missing forever, real life fucking problem.
Right, and that's the thing. Well, a lot of people are like Roddenberry's dream. Roddenberry's dream made seasons 1 and most of 2 of Next Generation really fucking boring. It wasn't until Berman stepped in and kind of put a direction and had some conflict step up. As much as I enjoy the concept behind Roddenberry's dream of the utopian bullshit, I like the more real setting.
Here's the thing. Roddenberry's utopian society and Star Trek in the Next Generation is still that if you're on a starship vessel, if you're on planet Earth, but there has always been colonies and outposts that have struggled to get things and have had all sorts of tough times and downtrodden shit, like Worf's whole fucking colony getting fucking destroyed. Right? Yep. Like many examples of bad shit happening that isn't just on the ship.
I'm such a geek. I know exact Kittimer. The Kittimer colonies, I believe is what it's called. Catch up on Vikings, you lazy bastard. Crazy shit. I do have to catch up on Vikings before the final season. I am enjoying the Picard series. Yes, it's just an enjoyable watch.
It's world building. It's so much more dynamic. You're not stuck on a Federation vessel or space station. You are in the entire universe of the Federation with
the
people
Alpha Quadrant,
who aren't part of Starfleet.
Yep. You see a lot more of that. I like the references back to the series, the fact that we see Quark's bar in a one certain section, that we see Maud's hair. Like, I like the drop-ins. I like the building of this world, but still, Yodine broadcasting. Still, how would the Romulans know the sun was going to go supernova? Usually takes a couple of millions of years. It's a very good point. There are some holes to pick, but I don't mind if it's a fun watch. To get to Walking Dead level of the way we're so bitter, that's that relationship that's so far down the road. Like, we've broken up and gotten back together 17,000 times. Everything that partner does, The Walking Dead, pisses us off now. You know, they leave the cookie jar cover off. We're screaming at them, "What the fuck you with that cookie jar?" But yes,
put the fucking toilet seat down.
You motherfucking Walking Dead, keep it down. Whereas Picard, you can be like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can leave it up.
Picard is fucking awesome. I'm enjoying it. I have no complaints. Fucking tell me one thing that was wrong so far, and fight me.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to assess anything wrong until I see the end of the storyline. Let's do a couple of predictions here. Do you tend to think
7 to 9 blows Picard, and they have little Borg children,
and they call them, oh, look at the little, how cutest they are. Look, oh, they're so cutest. Do you think that Data's kid ends up being the Borg Queen at the end of the season? Do you think it's heading in that
I don't want
direction?
to think about anything.
Oh, you don't want to do prediction bullshit?
No, because I don't want to think about any of that, any kind of bad shit like that.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I want Picard. What I think is going to happen is this. Honestly, this is what I think is going to happen. What's going to happen is this.
Data's coming back.
Picard saves the chick, saves the cheerleader, and
saves the world, saves the cheerleader, saves
and
the world.
becomes Picard, King of the Federation.
Okay. Eugene
and King of the Romulans.
King of the Romulans. King of
the Borg.
I'm king of them all.
The Borg reclamated.
The reclamated project. He has revenge for the death of Hugh and the death of Seven of Nine's kid. Okay.
No.
So, I know. That was sad. That was sad. You thought he was going to make it. Reminded me a little bit of Lethal Weapon 2, where it's like diplomatic immunity. It's been appealed.
And wow, what about, shows you what he pledged himself to a cause and then abandoned the cause to pledge himself to another cause and completely fucking. And we needed that. We needed him to know failure, absolute failure.
Samurai Legolas there, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he needed to experience the failure, and the loss.
Yes.
That will make him better in the future for Picard.
Yes, it will. It'll make him a better partner to be Picard's protector in future seasons. But yeah, I'm enjoying Picard. I like where it's going. I can't wait to see. I wonder if Data will be reconstructed. That's definitely a question I have by the end of the season. Because they made sure they said that at the beginning. If you have one positronic neuron, which they may be able to get from the painting again. This is what I tend to think is going to happen. I think she is going to somehow get into her. Someone in the live chat said they think that we're going to find out the Romulans built the Borg. I think it's going to be similar to that, but different, that they tried to recreate the Borg maybe in some way or something.
Or that the Borg started with AI, which is what they knew all along.
Right, or some sort of association with that. Eugene says, somehow in the distant past, the Romulans created the Borg, and that's why they're against robots. That's possible. But I do think that at one point this season ends on a cliffhanger where,
I think so too.
Where she leaves to go become part of the Borg in a Borg Queen, similar to the cliffhanger that we got in Best of Both Worlds in season 4.
And then Data comes back.
Back
on the right
Data
side
comes back.
Of life.
Yes.
And
then
they both destroy. Oh,
then somehow Picard finds a way.
Is fucking
Then blonde girl finds out a way to recreate Data from a neuron, finding a lesson plan left to him. No, Mike, I'm not done. I'm not done. But on that note,
putting those on fucking crooked.
But on that note, everybody, Kaylee, you're done, kid. We're gonna be saying that for a long fucking time. Thank you, Better Call Saul.
Dude, he yells at the little fucking child. It's brilliant.
You're done.
Every time somebody yells at a child on TV,
you're done, kid. I have a feeling Mike's gonna apologize tomorrow night. But everyone, thank you so much for joining.
Look at the little flowers, girl.
Just stare at the flowers, Kaylee. Just do it.
Stare at the fucking flowers.
Just stare at the flowers, Kaylee. It'll be all right. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this Sunday night stream. It was The Walking Dead, but we talked about a few things. So if you're just tuning in at the last minute, we did talk about Picard at the end, The Last of Us, and of course The Walking Disaster, the Sleeping Nightmare. Wesley maybe is coming back. I know he's been doing the after show. I've been enjoying the after show.
I'm a Wesley man.
Everything that's bad about The Talking Dead is good about the Wesley show.
Him and Hard Dick are fucking besties.
They
lived together. They were roommates.
Him and Hard Dick. Oh, everyone, AK's here. We got to end the party before she. No, it's great to have you in here, even if it's just for a second. Even as we're wrapping things up, great to have AK in the live motherfucking chat. And yeah, I absolutely have been loving Picard this season. I'm excited to see Joe excited for The Last of Us, and The Walking Dead's continuously a fucking disaster, Joe. It's still a disappointing. It's our Fredo. You had so much potential and you screwed it up. The Walking Dead has become our Fredo. You know, the Game of Thrones could be hot-headed sometimes, like Sunny, and mess up. You know, Vince Gilligan's our Michael. You know, always making it happen, doing what he has to do to get things done. You know what I'm saying here? But we've got Fredo the Walking Dead here. It's a fucking disaster. But what isn't a disaster is the live motherfucking chat. Thank you to everyone that's joined us tonight all throughout. We got some new faces, and of course the old, awesome, amazing live motherfucking chatters that join us every time we pop out here. Great to see Santovia Major, AK, J, Big J, who I see we have a message from for Better Call Saul tomorrow night, and so many others that popped in our live motherfucking chat tonight. We got Adele, we got Yo Dean Broadcasting, we got Pale Horse Rada, we've got Blue Steel, hilarious, awesome stuff. Roger, thank you. Lindsay, love Lindsay. Jason Voorhees, Roger Holger, thank you for joining us tonight, and all of our other great friends. Yes. Igor popped in his head in earlier. We got the Walking David was in here earlier as well. DJ Better said a quick hello, and we also had someone that just we also had someone that wandered in for the last minute or for the very first time, just wanted some place to be able to bitch about The Walking Dead and got sick of some of the sycophantic bullshit that you hear with a lot of stuff after these episodes. But yes, the real YT. We're done. We're right now. I'm just stalling to go away because I see a couple of new faces. And Joe's like, "Could you wrap this shit up so I can go eat a fucking sandwich? You son of a fuck! Come on!" But fear not, those of you that might be interested in hearing me babble a little bit more. I will be on tomorrow evening at around 10:30 p.m. Joe, leave us a message if you get a chance to watch the episode. But if not, we'll talk to you next week. But yes, I will be on tomorrow evening around the same time, around 10:30 p.m. To talk about the most recent episode of Better Call Saul. So anyone that's watching that show, or just wants to tune in to hear a babble fest, tune in tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel. But Joe, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's great to have you back here.
It's good to be back twice this week.
Yeah, but it's good to have you back twice. We gotta get back to schedule now. Right before we took our little break for your sick leave, and then my play.
Winter, I've been buckling down. I've been doing like 5, 6, 7 shifts a week and shit like that for a while now. When the spring really gets rolling and we get in the summer, I'm going back down to my 3-4 nights.
Good. So we'll get you back, and we're gonna do like movie series and do like best Spider-Man movies, best. We did the X-Men one, so we're gonna come back and do some more of that stuff, and to keep Joe on. And I'll stay on Joe, and I don't want him on the first couple of Westworld episodes, but if I'm thinking it's good and he's talking good things behind closed doors, I'll invite him on. I don't want to turn it into too much of a fight and just Joe taking a dump on the Westworld. But maybe, who knows how bad it's gonna be this season. You never can tell with that show. It could go.
You can.
It could get fuck off. It can all go in a lot of different.
Usually you could tell by the first 20 minutes of first episode.
But I will be on next Sunday evening, I believe. I may be on Monday because I'm going to Las Vegas, Nevada on Wednesday morning. As if anyone happens to be out in the Vegas area and wants to hang out, meet for a drink, I'll be in Vegas next week or this coming week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and coming home on Saturday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I will be in Las Vegas. And Joe's pissed off about it. Joe would rather watch The Walking Dead than hear that I'm going to be in Vegas. But yes, I'll be on for Westworld next week. How was my play of The Real YT? It was fun. It was a good experience. I had a good time doing it. It seems so far away now, even talking about it. But it was a good time. Joe was there. He can give his review at some point in time in the future. But I think he had generally had a good time watching it. It was a good night out with some good laughs, right, Joe? And I got to sword fight on stage, which was fun to do. And
it was like better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that's what most people have said. So I take that as a compliment. But that's most people's reactions were.
I was just talking about your sword fighting.
Oh, the sword fight. Okay, yeah, the sword fighting.
Yeah.
I expect. Trust me, that was if you walked in on one of the first 2 rehearsals, I almost quit because I couldn't do the sword fighting because that's
what I imagined.
You've played basketball with me. You've done physical activities with me. You've tried to move furniture with me and try to teach me some sort of balance exercises or martial art fighting type stuff. Like, you've been in those situations with me to see how hard it is. I'm in a room with someone that's a professionally trained sword choreographer that 5 minutes into it,
Just meeting you.
yeah, he got scared for a second. Like he told me by the end, we got it and you saw it. It was, I pulled off a couple of fun moves, like, my back turning around, some fun sword moves. I still have video of that, which I will play on the show at some point in time. But ended up pulling it off. He was like, just between you and me, we don't like to say these things, but I wasn't sure you could pull that off. I was at the beginning there, we were a little worried. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a good time. But yes, we've been on a little bit of break. It's good to be off the hiatus. But I'm excited. So if anyone happens to be in Vegas, please email me at igetissuesman@gmail.com or contact in any way. And I'd love to meet anybody for a drink if you happen to be out there at that time. But anyways, I'll be on tomorrow evening for Better Call Saul, and either next Sunday right after the episode airs or Monday after, depending on how tired I am after the trip. And we've seen you do push-ups. A couple push-ups.
You've seen him fuck the ground.
Or when
you haven't seen him do push-ups.
Fucking my fucking planks.
The hip thrusts he does into the floor from
we haven't had
position.
We haven't had one in a while, but eventually we might get another super chat. Maybe you might see my push-ups again. But before we end the evening, I do have to do one thing, Joe. Here we go. I'm gonna play it off. Instead of playing music, I'm gonna play it off. Play off this way. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. Join us tomorrow night for more. This podcast is brought to you by PBS.
When'd you get the steel drums?
Okay, let me put that away. It's late. No, steel drums are a pleasant sound. At most, it's good.
Where'd you get it?
It's a work thing. I have it for it's one of my work items, but I have it inside because I'm doing some audio recordings, so I'm using a lot of the weird sound effects. Has Joe heard the latest update on Game of Thrones? The prequel series coming out in 2020, the House of Dragons? I believe is that the latest, or have I not heard the latest? Joe's like, just end the fucking show already, asshole. Okay, sorry. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm just not super excited about the Game of Thrones spin-off as I thought I'd be.
Yeah, I have to see it. It has to be actually in my face watching it. I'm excited for Winds of Winter. I'm still like the most...
Just because it has the name Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but the thing I'm most excited about in the Game of Thrones universe is actually, and I will say it's not Winds of Winter, it's a Dream of Spring. It's for both those books to be done, because that's the thing. When a lot of people talk about the Game of Thrones thing, about Winds of Winter coming out, and by all means, George, do it at your pace. Get the fucking book out. You write it. It's done when it's done. You can't force a fucking book out. It's like a duty. It's done when it's done. You force it out, problems are gonna happen.
Hemorrhoid pop.
Yeah, hemorrhoids pop. I don't want a Game of Thrones hemorrhoid to pop.
End up with a season 8.
Exactly. Like, George, take your time. But what I'm really looking forward to is the second book, because once Winds of Winter does come out eventually, because it will come out eventually, but when it does come out, there's still one more. And we're going to have to wait another 5-6 years for the second one. Like, so my dream is for...
It's been how many years since the last one?
Yeah, it's too many, Joe. When the first season of Game of Thrones came out, I think Dance of Dragons came... Not Dance of Dragons, came out that year. I think it was like 2010, 2011 or something. I could be wrong. Someone in the live chat will know better than me. I'm not good.
I wonder if it made the bestseller list
of that year. 16 years to spring. Yeah, 16 years to spring. The only hope is that it's taking this long, and I've said this before, that it's taking this long because he's writing both of them at the same time, and then going to do a staggered release and release one and then release the other one the next year, or something like that, or like a year and a half apart from each other.
It's like, George, at least like you should have done. You missed out on probably millions of dollars by waiting.
I mean, it's still going to be a bestseller, but it would have been more of a commercial if it came out before the conclusion of the HBO season, because it'll always be the people like us, the people that are watching the podcast or talking about the show,
getting that book no matter what.
They're going to get that book, that are going to be Star Trek fans forever and go to conventions for the rest of their life. I'm going to go to these fucking Game of Thrones conventions as long as I'm invited, and after I'm stopped being invited, I'm going to go as a guest. You know what? I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Because I like the scene, I like the vibe, I like the people. But from like that bubble, from the mainstream bubble, it was at a all-time high right before that final season. It will never reach that quite again. Even if the prequel series is huge, even if the books come out, which are what you want more than anything else, I don't think it will ever be that again, in the sense of the way certain other franchises that when you reach those points become super popular and they're popular forever, but they never reach that point. And that's okay. We will still get great art from it. We might even get better things because of it. But I don't think, from a sales standpoint, it's definitely true. Yeah. But anyways, sorry everybody for the rants, everyone. Talk to you guys next time. Oh shit. Is it over? No, it's not over yet.